How does this seeking work? And who is seeking and what for? It's not only about spiritual seeking, because some people seek for happiness, and most people seek for wealth. So we believe that lots of money will make us happy. Well, it might make us more comfortable and give us some sort of choices, but it won't necessarily make us happier. You've seen many people who had lots of money, but who were quite depressed, and some are no longer with us either. So this sense of separation arises with humans once we are a child, say when we are 2.5, 3 years old. And just like that, at once we basically realize, okay, that's me. Then you start relating with my family, my tribe, my nation, my religion, and suffering starts. You know, you see a kid then crying, wanting a toy, like throwing tantrums, wanting a toy. It's my toy. So me and mine, the sense of separation or identity is there. So suffering continues. With that, we claim it's my thought, my feelings, my emotions. We grow up. Our girlfriend might betray us. She might cheat on us. And our boyfriend, and then, you know, it's my pain. And she's done that to me, or he's done that to me, which is okay, you know. Watching that in nature, you can actually observe birds. And they're very protective of their partners too. So sometimes some animals, even males, kill each other over their partner, or just get into a fight. With humans, it could be grieving, could be a sense of betrayal, and so on. And what I'm trying to say is that that will continue, that will go on, regardless if we claim me or mine, or of if that me is no longer there. It's natural arising. It's just a natural mechanism. And we don't see that everything is already as it is, because everything is just happening by itself. So there could be awareness of blood flowing, or breathing, of disturbing emotions, of happy emotions. There could be awareness of clouds, of the rain. So where is the problem? Seeming problem arises when we don't want situation to be as it is. So we want to change situation. I'm in Australia now, and it's winter. I'm in Melbourne, it's freezing, like 8 degrees. And I want to be somewhere where it's warm, in Italy, in France, Germany, Mediterranean. And if we keep feeling that resistance, it will get worse. And this is how we try to get rid of ego. Ego is trying to get rid of ego. But is there such a thing really, when you think of that? Is there such a thing as ego? You can even say that it is sort of like congested energy, gone into this belief, fed through the years, and gone into the belief that I'm separate. I am unhappy. My past wasn't great. I'm a sufferer because I have health issues, or everyone was picking on me. I'm not good enough. I'm not good looking. I'm not compatible or competitive for Instagram, which is really today's big culprit for, especially for young girls, and competition, and which will create more and more suicides, I presume, not being able to match or find enough money to do more surgeries to match to the rest of the girls who are perfectly looking. And suffering continues. Will the suffering stop? Once this ego idea is no longer there? Well, you'll still be hearing the next door child screaming, and you might get pissed off. And you might hear people arguing at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when you need to go to work, you know, and you might get angry and say something to them and take an action. So this stuff still continues. But it's sort of more subtle. It's no longer happening to us. It's no longer happening to me, just as is. It's, you know, it's like anger arises, response arises, like a natural response. It's like, again, I like comparing to the animals because they are the best example for us humans to learn from. You know, you see birds fighting, a nuisance of something getting in our way, or so it's same with people. It doesn't change. Is it less violent? Perhaps more subtle, but is it that a violence stops with people, or that the violent one cannot be what's his name, Manson, Charles Manson, or Hitler? You know, that can happen still. Murder can happen because you don't know. As we said, anger arises. Yet it's always that a problem arises where we do not like what is, some people call it right now. And we want something that isn't there. We want that is over there. We don't want what's here now. We want what's over there on that side. It's always like grass is greener, which doesn't mean don't try. It could be, you know, but it's good to probably, I mean, there's nothing wrong or nothing good or bad with trying for a change and see how it is over there, you know, which is not over here. But once you get over there, it's going to be here now as well. So you can't really run away from here now, meaning there is nothing to search. I like Tony Parsons' story that he told in one of his meetings. He talked about how a guy was smuggling something on Mexican-US border. And there was a policeman trying to catch him and see what he was smuggling. But after months and months of trying, he just could not work it out. He would go through all of his stuff. Nothing. Every day he would just come with his bicycle and cross the border. And this border guy just knew there was something wrong. One day they would meet in neutral territory and sit at the same table. This guy, border guy, would just invite the guy with the bike to sit down and tell him honestly what he was smuggling, because he couldn't work it out. He said, I'm no longer on duty, so I can't do anything to you. Can you tell me what you were smuggling? And this guy said, well, it's obvious. bicycles. And this is why we can't see the obvious, that everything is as it is. You know, we believe that we can make some change. We believe that, you know, we need to put an effort in every moment to make it look better. And we want to have constantly happy lives. So when there is happiness here, we are okay with that. But the moment that changes into not happiness or just, you know, so what, we believe it's not good and need to chase that happiness. And this is where we go for search for happiness. But remember that it's not that the happy moments make us learn. It's always the bad situations when we burn ourselves. Only then we learn not to step into the fire or not to get burnt by going there or whatever. So bad events and our suffering makes us learn. Where one door closes, another one opens. And we eventually find out and learn that at some stage, but not probably at the moment it's happening, because we might be struggling and suffering with the current situation. If it's like a devastating situation where we might have gotten divorced and one didn't want to get divorced, but another one couldn't live with another person anymore. And that grieving is there, it continues still. And it takes time, the apparent time. They say there is no time, but being paradoxical, it takes time to overcome the grieving. Again, watch the nature and see a couple of dogs. One might get killed by a car, and another dog would be sad for losing its friend. So it's only human to feel. Would you like to be a zombie? You know, it's not very pleasant, I don't think. You'll be like zombie-like, but free of awareness once you're dead. So, you know, this is time to feel everything, what comes. Common sense, you know, you won't run in front of a bus to get hurt, but just natural behavior, natural responses, natural instincts that we are born with. So I see people trying everything to get enlightened. I'll just say enlightened, which does not exist at all. But no one wants to hear this. That's quite ordinary. What's quite ordinary? When that ego idea disappears, when we see for certain that there is no ego. It's ordinary, we get used to it. Could be exciting to start with. You might have seen many people, like at first they go, you know, oh, they're so high and they're shining. Then you see them after a year and you just go, what the heck happened to them? Yes, it seems easier, but at the same time, to say about practicality in this life, it's not always as easy, I'd say. Why? Because now we are usually slowed down, especially we used to rush, you know, ahead and go ahead of ourselves. Like I used to be anxious as a person, always running ahead of myself, trying to get work or anyway to an appointment, always running around, like crazy, to the point where I used to fall. I would fall even and hurt myself a few times. With this, you no longer rushed as much, I'd say. It's just, there's sort of like laziness, which is not deliberate. And there could be even conversation. You can hear conversation in your head saying, yeah, but you need to do that. You should have accomplished that today. And you should, have finished that in the afternoon and that tonight. Oh, I should, but you just cannot move. You hear this conversation and you will notice that conversation. But now action is going to be taken when it's due to be taken, You just can't push it. But at the same time, if you're at work and they give you the deadline, if your manager say to you, I need this finished by 11, 12 o'clock, and they give you like 6, 7 things, which making it impossible, it won't be easy. There will be still nuisance and hopelessness, because especially now you can't grasp the time and you don't know what it means by 11 o'clock today or tomorrow. What's the difference? And you can't comprehend that time. You can't determine between, say, 2 hours and 5 hours gap. So you might be given a test or quiz to do, and you are no longer responding as a person from ego, from intellect that has nothing to do with the natural state, but it's just intellectual learned stuff, conceptual stuff. So you'll probably need more time than other people, because you won't be like bang giving answer the way you used to. They used to say that Einstein was quite bad at school as well. And you know why? Because other kids were coming from the wrong place. But it's the right place for this dualistic world, where people expect you to just go bang, which has no substance. It's just learned intellect, watching television, watching media. It's just all concept, brainwashed stuff, usually. So these things can be harder, to go back to the office and work in corporate world. And I have to say it's tough for people who for Westerners from that perspective, because they have to find the jobs where they can be slow. Is it possible? Often it's not. Or they need to find jobs where they're on boss and earn enough money to pay the bills, or if they have to feed the family, so they have to feed their family, they have to retain their jobs, and they'll be suffering, probably get stuck into their jobs that they might hate. And it still feels like a devastating situation, regardless of this ego idea gone. So yeah, I'd like to highlight that so people know, because I'd say that you will no longer be as competitive as you were once, because you don't care as much. You know that the financial situation and the money isn't everything. And you'll know that happiness is not that paper called money, although it gives you the choices, but you just won't be able to put up with all of that unnecessary stuff in your life to earn so much money. So your priorities might be elsewhere, in probably enjoying this moment. I'd say to people who have their own business, or who really enjoy self-employed, or similar, if they're freelance and who want to try to grow their business, to think twice about this understanding, because it's not always pleasant. You just go well, I can't be bothered anymore. I'd say similar with only much, much worse with motivational courses and motivational books or self-help books, which might help you go high for about a couple of days, believing, yes, I'm strong. I am, I'll be able to do this. I'll become a businessman. And you'll be on high for a few days and you won't do anything. You'll just go to the library or online and get another book or motivation, which will not help you. The only people who make money and are successful from motivational books or self-help books are people who write them or people who hold the meetings, but you'll remain broke unless you follow your own instinct, your own intuition, and do something. You go, okay, this is my talent. I'll write it down, bang, 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 the list of the things that I'm good at. So I'll do that and maybe create a website and do Instagram on that, or I'll just get some marketing on the subject and try to sell my product. But motivational books will not help you whatsoever. I promise you. Anyway, I'm not saying there's anything bad with you doing it. Keep doing it. If you're meant to keep reading these books and enjoy them, that's fine. And yeah, I also see many people who teach this, or some of them, or people who are in these circles, they love talking about drugs. So especially since I'm in this, I don't know, because I wasn't seeker as such, I wasn't spiritual seeker. I kind of ended in this accidentally. And but in the last, say, 7, 8 years, or 8, can't even remember, 8, 9 years, I've just noticed that some people love talking about psychedelics, and some of these things that are completely irrelevant to our current existence, to our breathing, talking, listening, blood flowing that is already there by your birthright. Okay, you're already born. Do you need to get drugs to be born again? Or what are you trying to do with these drugs? For me, it's no territory. And I think it's BS talking about that and encouraging people to take drugs in order to become what they already are. And yeah, some people teach you various methods, and they even tell you you're not trying hard enough. Well, isn't it much easier when someone tells you not to try and you don't? And bang, all of a sudden, the belief of me locked in here just disappears by itself. I know that Ramesh Balsika, he called, at the end of his life, he called everything egotism. He said everything is ego. And I can see that some people usually complain when they hear this paradox, But I can see where it was coming from, because at times I just go, yes, you need that egotism to survive, to be successful in this world, to be a successful businessman or a worker, or to earn money easy, to build something that will make your life easier so you can spend more time with your family or by yourself, or just simply enjoy your life more without having to go through dreadful work in the office, which is free of sun, where you have to inhale aircon that is full of germs. Meeting with people you would never want to meet in your life. Expectation that this will be different, that that will make me saintly person, that there will be like Kundalini moment, or there will be lights everywhere, you know. It's nothing like it. It's quite ordinary. As when you were a kid, like when you were a baby or infant, you were not a seeker. You just were as you were. Maybe keep reminding yourself of that. You know, when I was a little baby, I would just I would throw my toy if I didn't want to play with it anymore. I would cry when I was hungry or thirsty or needed change to be changed. And but I was never dwelling on yesterday, a skipped meal, or tomorrow's event that it might go a wrong way. As a child, as a baby, I never thought of that. So I just lived with life as it was. Some people say it in the moment, some people say in the now. You know it, you just sense it. It's just you, you yourself, that can probably resonate with that. But it's, when I say it's you, it's basically core of your being, or I don't know, your innate intelligence, or resonating with that innate intelligence from that someone who is talking to you, or everything in the nature, watching animals who are ego-free. I've heard people saying, oh, Ramana's cow was enlightened. It's such a bullshit. It just such a delusion, because every cow is that. Every cow, there's no cow that has sense of reasoning capacity that would turn into a me belief, like in humans. So every cow, every lion, they already are as they are. So the lion does not go for a search to find itself. Lion just is as it is, you know. It just chases its food when it's hungry, or just attacks the enemy, or just lays down, you know, has the little ones, and it just is as it is. So maybe that's the best way to learn. Watch the nature, watch the lion, watch the birds, and wildlife, and that's pretty much it as it is. And animals do not claim or blame someone, you know, oh, you were in my way, that's why I didn't turn left and I missed on that. They don't do that shit. They might get, you know, seemingly grumpy at each other if they, you know, if there's a dog that wants to play, another dog wants to sleep. So another one that wants to sleep might bite because it doesn't want to play. You know, these little things, and comes and goes, and they all live natural lives. So do we. And already we just confused our existence that already is for something, for wanting happiness all the time. Or I understand if some of us looked into this message because we truly suffered a lot. Our lives were unbearable. That's why for me it was kind of lucky, people would say, from some perspective, because I wasn't in these circles for a long time, maybe for 3-4 months. There was, or it's to be more precise, 10-12 meetings. But from that perspective, yeah, could be lucky, but was unlucky that I had to learn hard way, and might have damaged my body through that, and physically and probably psychologically in a way, I don't know. I'd say it's kind of different for a baby. Baby, when it's born, it doesn't have that burden from the past like humans. If we suffered as a kid or a child, and we had traumas, and as you know, teenager or adult, and if someone kept telling us every day we're not good enough, if they repeated it every day, it would leave a mark. It would be traumatic, truly. And it would never go away fully, I'd say, because we will never live that long to get rid of it completely. But little child, because they didn't have that past, from that perspective, they're not thinking about, you know, they don't have these trauma moments. I'd say. Again, who am I to know? I've got no clue, but this is how it seems to me. So just the last bit before I finish, when we go, so what is this that is seeing, that is talking, that is imagining, that says I'm Sabine, you know, that is calling Melbourne, or who is talking tonight, who's going to post this on YouTube. So what is doing that if there is no such a thing as me? You can call it sense of presence, a sense of awareness, sense of aliveness, if you like. So what is it? Sense of presence, aliveness is same as when we were a little kid. So that kind of hasn't changed, like hasn't aged. This body has aged a lot, but that sense of awareness, aliveness is same. So when I was a little kid, there was awareness that I was alive and that my parents were there. They were making my life cozy. They would give me a dinner or lunch, or have fire going for me. You know, they'll send me off to school on time. That's that kind of sense of presence or aliveness or whatever that is here, but it's not a me, something little enclosed behind his eyes, watching, owning, having ownership over anything. I've got no ownership over anything, and I know nothing. I know nothing. I can't claim it. And I tell you this, I'll tell you this, no one knows it. No one knows what happens once we are dead. No one, they're just guessing or lying if they say anything. So with this ego belief gone, there is awareness that there is a knowing that's got nothing to do with me, because I have not made a decision about the day I was born, or where to be born, and you know, or how I'm going to look like. And I will not make a decision on my last day. I have no clue when this body is going to just expire. So no one knows this. So all these chakras, kundalinis, whatever, do what you like. I don't know, health-wise, maybe it's good. But to form some bullshit ideas about some life, universal life, like blah, 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 butterflies and universe like little angels, that's all fairy tales. Once upon a time, happily ever after, meaning they skipped this time. Once upon a time is past, happily ever after is future, so they skipped what is, so it's all fairy tales. Okay, but it's all happening in the story, and it's all cool. Thank you so much, and have a good night. Look after yourself.